I want to introduce to all of you because he is a source of inspiration for me. I also want to express my condolences because Alex Goldstein lost his father, Yitzhak Ben Mendel. And I want to dedicate our learning today and the previous semester and this semester to his memory. Alex, how are you?
Thank you for the welcome, Rabbi. I'm doing well.
Thank you
Baruch
so much.
Hashem.
And you ran amazing events in San Francisco for the Russian community. Can you please share a few words about yourself, about your father, and why you moved to Israel?
I was born in Ukraine. I came to San Francisco at age 3, and I was enrolled in a Jewish school. The school was almost all Russian Jews, but there was pretty much, it was like a religious administration. The school was more or less the Russian school. But it was a great place. We had a great time there. I was there for 11 years. My wife also went there. She was there for 15 years, nursery to 12th grade. We kind of built our Jewish foundation there, though we weren't necessarily religious. Later in the school's tenure, a lot of the black hat rabbis they were replaced by B'nai Akiva and those type of shlichim. They would come and teach and spend a year, 2-3 years in San Francisco. And they kind of developed our connection with Israel more, I would say. That really started our spark of the Jewish path forward. Without that, I don't think it would be there. Long story short, 15 years later, we just made Aliyah about 6 months ago. My wife and I, with my 3 little girls.
In the midst of pandemic, it was a heroic.
Yeah, it was in the midst of pandemic. It's actually funny. There's a local Jewish newspaper in San Francisco. They interviewed us for an article about Aliyah in the times of COVID. My Aliyah had nothing to do with COVID. It just happened to be during COVID, because by the time we finished our process with all the documentation that Israel requires for Soviet Jews, COVID happened. By the time we were done with that process. And in that article, I think they were asking me several times, so how did it impact you? How did it impact you? I'm like, I don't know. It didn't really impact me, though they were fishing for an answer. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely an experience. Obviously, when you make Aliyah, you're expecting a lot of grandeur. And when we got to the airport, we were all in masks. And there's this lady who looks at us and says, Goldshtein, follow this way. That's it. You get into a car, you're isolated for 2 weeks. No grandeur, no ceremony.
Alex, if you would ask an average Israeli, and please, Ada, correct me if I'm right, many Israeli Jews are dreaming about the valley, about the San Francisco, about the high tech, and they wish to be there. Many of your friends are doing Google and doing WhatsApp and doing they have the jobs and the journeys and the startups of their lives. And you, a successful person, with your wife and 3 children, you just moved from blossoming place of San Francisco to Israel, which is it's a challenging place. It's not an easy place. You have political instability. You have threats from the neighbors, and you moved to Israel. Why did you do that?
I definitely think that there's challenges that come with Israel, and our tradition teaches that also that Israel is only acquired through suffering. But I definitely see the future of the Jewish people in Israel as well. As much as America has been great to the Jews, and it really has, it's been the best place the Jews have ever seen. I see the future of the Jewish people and its destiny in the land of Israel. And even my late father, though he was not happy about me leaving, there was definitely a bit of pride about us going to Israel. He wanted us to stay close, and he was fighting me on it. And my parents were not happy about us being so far away. But he definitely had a sense of pride that it was the Jewish homeland.
It's probably, we say that the apple doesn't fall far from a tree. I mean, you got it from somewhere.
My parents definitely instilled a big level of Jewish pride, though typically, like any family who grew up in the Soviet Union, their Yiddishkeit was stolen from them. They still had a sense of Jewish pride, and they made sure I went to a Jewish school. It was very important. My dad he worked very hard. He started off, in Russia, he was a chemist. In America, he became a cab driver because he needed to make a living. And even though with that, he sent me to a private school, he worked very hard all his life. You know, he took care of us. He was, you know, very proud, but he was very humble. And you know, it was a big shock to lose him. About 5 weeks after we made Aliyah, I had to go back for the funeral. It was a big shock. Still kind of unbelievable. But hopefully my mission in life will be to do right by him, and that whatever I do has a good effect on his neshama and you know, the family name.
In other words, the fact that he sent you to the Jewish school actually affected your journey, and therefore the children, your children, that living in Israel and going to Hebrew schools already in the land of Israel, it is really a consequence of his choice that he made. How many years? Like 30 plus years ago.
Yeah, we came to America in 1988, and you know, I mean, thank God the Jewish school took all the Russian kids in, and but my parents still, you know, they had an option of free school, right, public school. Instead, they chose the option that we'd still learn about our tradition, be around Jewish kids.
And it was your father's choice. It was not your
father and mother together. They both sacrificed a lot.
Right, your father and your mother. But I mean that in that regard, you owe this decision to your father. It's
100%.
not something that you decided. But
a lot of kids my age who went to the school just because it was their first landing spot, and then a year later went to public school because it was free. My parents, I stayed there. I was there 11 years.
But you confirmed your father's decision when you sent your children the same path.
Yes. Well, I mean, my parents might have not been happy with my level of observance, but ultimately, you know, it was done. It was done l'shem shamayim, whether it was part of their plan or not.
They accepted it. It's such a pleasure. Anybody has any questions to Alex? Because Alex, to me, is a source of inspiration. And Alex, in the memory of your father, because you did something amazing. You made RAJE San Francisco. You created the seeds. And now you're in which place are you, by the way? Tell us a few words. Where are you?
I'm in Tel Mond, Israel, so it's not too far from Netanya.
What is that?
Tel Mond, it's a yeshuv, a small town. I'd say, you know, we have a rough population of, I think, about 10,000, and it's Netanya and Ra'anana are the closest cities. Good place. There's a sizable English-speaking community here, and it's nice. Yeah.
How do you feel there?
I feel great. The people are very friendly. This Shabbos, finally, things are back to normal. There was like a full shul. There's a ton of kids on the playgrounds running together. It was amazing, because up till now it's still been COVID life, but there's definitely signs of everything going back to normal.
So you live something like in the country. You don't live like in buildings in because
the majority of homes here are private homes.
So and probably the sea is not far. The Mediterranean Sea and the beach is not far.
Correct. Netanya on a good day with no traffic is like less than 15 minutes away.
So 15 minutes away, and you can swim in the Mediterranean Sea. What a beautiful thing. But let's think about San Francisco, Alex. Again, in the memory of your father and what he did for you in San Francisco, we would like to continue the San Francisco branch. We want to invest 100%. Our energy. If anybody on the Zoom with us, Rabbi Goldshtein, Rabbi Pollack, our staff, we want to expand and make sure that San Francisco will continue. And we'll also reach out to the Bay Area and to LA as well, because we have many students there that really asking us to do something for them.
Bless RAJE. I wish it all the best and keep doing the good work.
Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity and the dedication of the learning from my father.
Thank you so much. It's a great opportunity for us. It's an honor for us. And we should build on that. We should build
amen.
Families like yours, and the choice of your father that he made should inspire many more people to make the right choices and move in the right direction in their lives. Thank you.
Amen. All the best.
Thank you.